What company would Leonardo da Vinci have created in the modern world today? Let me know in the comments below, what type of company would Leonardo da Vinci have created? Or maybe Pablo Picasso. What company would Pablo have created today to fulfill their needs as artists? Now, we typically think of companies as just these entities for generating income. That's how most people think of those. And a lot of other people think of companies as investment opportunities, okay? Because obviously a company is going to generate income at some point, okay? But how do we get here? How do we get to a point where a company delivers value to investors? Well, it takes a special type of person to do so, okay? It takes a special type of person. It's either the founder or the CEO who is that special person. And in my opinion, that special person is an artist, okay? They are an artist at the end of the day. They understand the future, okay? Like Leonardo da Vinci did. You know, he came up with like these crazy inventions, like a helicopter before it even existed, you know, the flying machine, so on and so forth. And, you know, Pablo Picasso was ahead of his time with his art and his paintings. People at the time did not believe these were interesting, okay? And the value that they created, unfortunately, during their time was not there, but beyond their lives, it was there. That art is priceless, okay? Now, fortunately for CEOs and founders today, they're able to scale with technology and build a vision with a company, okay? That company is a canvas for this artist to implement that vision, to splatter the paint on the canvas, okay? And many people back then did not understand many artists. Many people just basically downplayed them or said, this isn't art, this is garbage, throw it away, right? But the people who saw that vision and who kept that art, right, they created a tremendous amount of value. And it's just like companies today, okay? Many stories about people who see a canvas, who see a company, they make tremendous amounts of value when they understand things that other people don't understand, okay? And what CEOs do when they paint this picture, they do it because they need to raise capital from investors. They need to constantly paint this picture for investors to feel confident, okay? To build conviction, to put real money behind the painting, okay? There were people who bought Picassos back in the day that they probably thought, or at the time they were valued as worthless. You know, these paintings, no one else would buy them, but there were a few investors who said, hey, there's something here. I see the vision, I see the future. And that is how you have to think of CEOs and founders today. They're constantly selling you a vision, okay, a future that doesn't exist. And the only way it's gonna exist is if you invest, okay? Many people thought that Elon Musk was crazy for building an automobile company in the United States, and an EV one at that. But there were enough investors to get behind it, including other automotive companies, and it worked out. He's doing the same thing today when it comes to selling the dream of autonomy and robots, and you'll have this, you know, future with abundance and all that, right? That's what he's selling to his investors like myself. And I see the vision, I see the art on the canvas, and that is why I keep holding that position. You're also seeing that with the robotics field with Figure AI. They're a startup company and they're looking for funding, and they have a very boisterous CEO, similar to Elon Musk. And what is he doing? He's selling a vision, a painting, okay? That is what most modern CEOs do these days. Steve Jobs, the same thing. He sold everyone a painting on what the future would be. Everyone would have one of these smartphones in their pockets. You know, he saw that vision before it ever even happened, and so on and so forth. And that's what you need to look for when it comes to investing, okay? You need to look for the CEOs like Pablo Picasso or Leonardo da Vinci. That is what you need to look for to gain the most value, all right? Because they have these visions of grandeur that are outside the scope of what everyone else on planet Earth thinks about, okay? Everyone else on planet Earth is 99% not thinking about the future. There's 1%, the 1% who see the future, all right? And who can read an artist and see the value in the painting. And today, we do it with companies. That's what we do it with. We see that value and we strike. We see what the future is going to be. And you know, it's real volatile along the way. If you're going to buy that painting, you know, it's going to go up and down in value. It's going to go all the way down to, you know, $5 and then back up to 20 and then back down to 5, because people today can't understand the value. They don't see the vision, okay? And that's where people fail today. They don't see the art. They can't see through that vision, okay? And it's called a judgment call, and you have to make these type of judgment calls to become wealthy in this world. That's the name of this game. So, pay attention to the art behind CEOs and founders of companies. That is where most of the value is going to be generated here on out. We are going to have technologies and opportunities to invest in extremely weird and crazy canvases in the future. There will be even more opportunities than you can imagine because of this AI revolution that's happening. We don't know what we don't know today. We don't know what type of artists are going to come along, because they're going to come along, guys. They will. You will have an opportunity again to invest in the next generation artist. You will. There'll be another Pablo Picasso that comes along. There'll be another Leonardo da Vinci, and they will be company owners, and they will paint the pictures on the canvas, okay? So anyways, I just thought that was an interesting concept I came up with the other day. I didn't find it anywhere. It was just something I was, you know, pondering. I was listening to a podcast, and that's where I kind of got the idea of them when they were talking about painting a picture for investors to invest in, and that's what it is. They're artists at the end of the day. So anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and if you guys could, like and subscribe, and take a look at my previous video. And thanks, guys. Have a great day.